Sorry about that. I forgot to do this.
Okay. Is rotary turning, tipping, and steering?
Rotary is turning,
Pivoting.
Pivoting.
Or
Okay,
steering.
turning, pivoting, and
pivoting,
steering.
and steering.
So I understand the turning. Now that you
Yeah.
explained that to me, I understand the turning, but the steering, does the steering add steering with your feet and your skis at that point? Versus
So basically
just,
well, Scott, tell her what it is.
What was the question?
She's asking what is steering
versus turning.
versus turning.
Well, actually, I don't know that I can answer that. I think a steering it's a combination of edging, which, if your ski is engaged, the shape of the ski makes it turn, and rotary. So if you have edging and rotary, where there's steering, you might have some skidding. It's not necessarily carved, but you're using a rotary mechanism to steer. But part of that turning is the edge engagement, where the bending of the ski and the edging helps you to turn.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
That makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
so many words.
Steering is pressure, edging, and yeah.
Well, steering is rotating an edge ski.
Yeah, but I thought pressure was part of that
Ski
too.
on edge and you rotate it. Turning is more this way.
But I can't see your
pivoting is this way.
Okay, which is turning?
Turning
Well,
is this way.
Can't see what I can't. Can you use your left hand? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, gotcha.
This is turning.
Okay,
This is pivoting.
right.
This is steering.
Turning is on edge. Thank you for redefining that.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
Gumby, you're saying that turning is just a flat ski, whereas steering,
Generally, it's less of an edge ski than steering is.
okay, is turning.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I can make it even
And
simpler.
can I ask one more question? It says medium radius turns, but this is dynamic skiing. This is not basic, right?
It is. This is the standard, right? It's now dynamic performance, whether you want to call them dynamic or performance medium radius turns. This is the center line. This is the center line. Go ahead, Benji.
I was going to say steering is turning with intent.
Right. Yeah, it's not the accurate description, but I like that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not, but I like the thought. I like how you're actually, cool.
So can you go back about 30 seconds and say that?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think this through. So the new center line standard is dynamic radius turns versus
Wedge turns.
Sorry?
It's wedge turns.
Right. Wedge Christie.
Wedge Christies.
Yep.
Basic parallels. And then dynamic parallels. All of them are medium radius.
Oh, okay.
All of them are medium radius on groomed terrain.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, ungroomed terrain, steeper terrain, bumps, is not considered center line. It's more of a bias. Right?
Okay.
So bumps is going to be more of a pivoting and pressure, or a rotational and a pressure bias, right? And carving is going to be way more of an edging bias. So there's this lateral piece too in center line. But remember, center line is a column. It's not a line, right? They're allowing for adaptions on other side, right? According to the kind of skiing that you're doing, the kind of skis that you're using, the kind of body type you are, whether you're 6'4" or 4'4", right? All of these make changes to the center line that have to be accounted for, right? So your wedge turns are not going to look the same as my wedge turns because I'm 6 feet tall and I work out all the time. And so I might have I'm going to have a way different wedge turn than yours is, right?
Is that because of the radius of our skis also?
It's a radius. Skis have a lot to do with it, right? I might be doing wedge turns on a 168, 13 radius ski, slalom, like a slalom-esque ski, right? And you might be doing them on a 92 underfoot, park ski, right? So that we have to account for all those things. So they've narrowed the focus, but at the same time broadened the task a little bit, right? So like I said, it's a column now. It's not a line like it used to be when everybody had straight skis back in the 90s. A slalom Rossignol 4S was about the same as a K2 KVC comp, right? I mean, there were not much differences. They were both 68 underfoot. They were both had the same size shovel at the point, and they were both skied about the same. Now we have so many variety of skis. We have to accommodate for all of this.
Well,
Chuck?
a quick test question. Do we choose our ski based on the conditions, or do they prefer we ski with a certain underfoot?
Well, if you're going to be going for a level 2, I'd be looking for a narrower ski.
Mhm.
And if you're going for a level 3, what did you use? What did you use, AJ?
So I I used a very turny ski. I used a head E-Rally, which is a bit shorter than I want, but 156 at about a 12, 11 meter radius.
Wow, that's a very fast ski.
And what was your underfoot? How many
Mine,
cent-
I'm 75 underfoot,
Okay.
Wow.
but
that's
it's a
cool.
very shaped ski.
When I passed, I had Atomic XK9s,
Live or can we talk?
65 underfoot, 181 with a 16-1 turn radius.
Well, yeah, so I asked the same question, Marianne, of
Mhm.
my examiner. And what came back was, for someone of my height, and I'm 172 centimeters, that's 5'7",
Mhm.
I should be riding about a 160-ish
Mhm.
in length and about 75 to 82 underfoot. Nothing more than that.
That's not why you flunked.
That's what?
That's not why you flunked, right?
That's not why.
It's not supposed to be the ski that flunks you, but
No, it's not the ski. It's not the ski. It was the body movement. 100% agree. But equally, you don't want something as unstable as I'm probably riding. It's
Right.
a little bit on the unstable side.
when
I think
take
it also depends, because, I mean, I went to narrow skis because I could not, for the life of me, do railroad tracks on my Black Pearl 88s. Just found it very difficult to get them on edge. Just like I will never take my Stokeleys out west ever again.
Don't say that. I have 2 friends that love those skis.
I was skiing
I
today.
love them, but 75 or 78 underfoot does not do it for me on powder.
Oh yeah.
And I have my favorite teach skis are 85 underfoot. Same length, same radius, 16-1 and 181 centimeters. But I was really struggling with the early edging today. Really struggling with early edging because I got to tip an 85 millimeter ski. And I know if I had the 65 millimeter ski, which is like literally this much narrow, right? It's almost an inch narrow. 3/4 of an inch narrower. That I know I could get those to tip early, but you have to. The platform takes a while to tip up. I was really struggling with both the early edging and sequential edging. Right, they weren't tipping at the same time and the same rate.
So, Marianne, as I use a 72
underfoot. I've been consistently 158 in length, generally a slalom type ski with 72.
Yeah, I've got a
Underfoot.
65. I've got a I think it's head E original 65 underfoot. Maybe about 159, 157, something like that.
Now,
But I
for
do better on
those-
my wider skis.
Yeah,
What?
for those of you who are like, Olivia, who's working on her exam here in the US, I'm sorry, in the Rockies, you could get away with a little bit wider ski here because our snow is not like East Coast
I
rock
see.
hard, blue glacial ice, right? But I would recommend a narrower ski, 100%. If you can get somewhere 72 to 75 range, you're going to be way more successful. You're just going to be more successful.
Versus a 65.
Well, a 65 is essentially a race ski, right?
Yeah.
And mine are Weekend Warrior race skis. Those are the ones that I passed on. But I have, when I take the RMT entrance exam next month, it will definitely be the 75 underfoot 13 radius. That's 165 millimeters, 168. That's oh my God, those things are amazing. I freaking love them. But it allows me to tip them a lot easier.
What brand are those?
They're Atomics.
Atomics, that's right, you said that. And they're 75 underfoot?
75 underfoot. So they're a little bit more teach friendly here, which is why I bought them. But the same way, they're like a slalom cut. But they're a little bit longer. They're 168. They're not regulation 165.
Just a warning on Atomics, Marianne. Atomics tend to be skis where you have to be driving them. You have to be in balance. Atomic is notorious for throwing people that are not in the front seat. If you're not in the
Yes.
front seat, you're not going to have a good time with Atomics.
Which is why I love them.
Yep. Yep. And by the way, Rebecca, I went in the back bowls of Vail. I went into China Bowl with my heads 75 underfoot without an issue. You just have to point your skis down the hill more. That's all.
It's that 75 underfoot here in Colorado is probably narrower than you would normally go, but it's a really fun ski.
Yeah.
It's just a fun ski. The snow is soft. You don't have to worry about tipping and edging. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
All right, it's 7:03. I got to
Thank you.
divide you up in groups. Is everybody getting what they want out of this? I know we kind of got sidetracked at the beginning. I feel like.
Can you answer Kimberly before you change us into groups? She messaged you.
Who's that? Oh, Kimberly. Yeah. How does the center line affect the level 2 C exams, and what will we do the same tasks and be evaluated the same way or a different way? You will be evaluated the same way as you used to be.
Okay.
The difference is that Rocky Mountains has never changed. They always had blended tasks, which were the Wedge Christie, basic parallel, dynamic parallel. Those were always there. I know that the East was different because you guys have different snow. But now, as everybody aligns, the blended tasks, which are now called integrated tasks, are going to be the Wedge Christie, the basic parallel, and the dynamic parallel. And those dynamic parallels through the wedge turns are all going to be medium radius on groomed snow. That's the whole standard now. You will still have, and this, let's go back again, because this is a perfect opportunity to look at this, right? Hold on, I gotta find her again. That list of tasks that they did for the L2, right? This is the list of tasks. Now, this is a perfect example of showing it. Hold on, I gotta stop share, and then I gotta reshare because it's on a different browser. And here you go. So here it is, the integrated tasks for a level 2 Eastern region, wedge turns, wedge Christies, basic parallels. Then you have what we used to call the highlighted tasks, which tend to target a specific fundamental or a pair of fundamentals. In railroad tracks case, they're looking at edging and pressure. In a straight run to a hockey stop, they're looking at edging and pressure and rotation. I'm sorry, edging and rotation. I'm sorry, pressure and rotation. And then the stem turns are going to be a rotation and edging because you stem to an edge. Does that make sense? Those are going to be the individual. And then the versatility tasks are going to be taking integrateds and putting them into different kinds of terrain. In this case, it was variable turns on variable snow, medium turns, which could be, I mean, I've done medium basic parallels and bumps. I've done medium basic parallels and steeps. I've done medium basic parallels on groom snow. I've done short turns on cat tracks. I mean, it really depends on the examiner and what they're really looking for. And it's that versatility piece. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah. What was the versatility before?
The versatility,
Before, what was it called before?
well, it's here. It's
Like,
versatility.
no, I mean, like integrated was highlighted,
Integrated was
or
blended.
individual was highlighted,
Individual was highlighted. Versatility was applied.
applied, thank you.
Yeah, and the integrated was the former blended. Does that
Thank
help,
you.
Kimberly? All right, cool. Let's get this shindig started. We're just gonna put 3 together. Ooh, holy moly. And it kind of did it all for me. Well, that's just. Lona, where are you at? Are you still there?
Here.
Benji, you to this one. Alona, where are you at? Oh, you're already there. All right, cool. Rebecca stays where you're at. Are there any other level 3s that are with us tonight? No? I'm going to make these kind of bigger groups today. All right. I don't want to make them too small. I want opportunity. And for those of you who want to speak, please speak. If you don't want to speak, please contribute what your thoughts are. But at the same time, nobody's going to put your feet to the fire. Okay. Just remember that anytime that we do this, we have an opportunity to grow, right? And the more we speak, I was talking about this to kids today. I could show you a video of swimming. I could tell you how to swim, but what is the only way that you can learn how to swim? You gotta go do it.
Do it.
You gotta do it. And it's no different here. I mean, whoever speaks is going to be the one who's going to be doing the most learning. All right, cool. Give me a second or two and I will go in. All right. I can't believe that. This thing always mutes me when I come back in the room. All right, so group 3, do you want to go?
Are we 3?
Who's 3?
Group 3 is David, Erica,
We're
Laura,
3.
Maren, Marianne, and Tom.
Can we see the
Who wants to
skier?
Spreckensy?
Yeah. Can we see the skier as they're talking?
I'm sure.
It's really hard to make sense of it if we don't see the skiing.
Yeah, you guys got the hard one, right?
I
No.
said it was easy.
You got the one that was green over or black over green?
Yep.
Yes, I'll be nice. Typically, you don't get a chance like this in exam, so.
So I'll start. I'm just going to say, in terms of ski performance, it looks like this skier is going from transition into initiation, sitting back so that they cannot actually start initiation properly. And so if you look up on one direction, she kind of throws her arm, which twists her body. And the result of that is that she, well, I'm sorry, going back to ski performance, she's sitting back coming into initiation. I lost the video. And because she's sitting back, she can't initiate the turn with her skis properly. And her body is making her, at that point, lean inwards and incline. And so her weight is on her uphill ski.
That was nice. 4 different fundamentals. That's a new record.
I know, I don't understand this. Okay, so I didn't mean to go into the, well, no, I did. I meant,
Pick
okay.
one. Let's pick one. The first
I
thing
would
you
say
talked about
4F
was
balance.
4F
4F,
balance.
okay.
So the ski performance for 4F balance is what?
She's sitting back, so the weight is on the back of her skis,
Okay, so where is the ski bending?
on the back of her skis.
Cool. When is it bending?
It's bending, oops, let me go back here for a
Initiation,
second.
shaping, finish.
It's bending right after she goes into shaping. It looks
Okay.
like
It's bending in the back.
bending in the back when she goes into shaping.
Okay, does it ever stop bending in the back?
Well, most of the snow is coming off at the shaping, initiation shaping point.
Sure, that's a good indication, right? But there are other
But
things.
actually, snow as she goes into finish her, it's still back. She's still back also. Her
Right.
weight's in the back of the skis.
In the
I'm not
finish.
very
So
good at
what's
Yes.
happening in initiation? Is it bending in the back of the initiation? Huh?
the skis are bending at the back of initiation. The skis are
Cool.
bending at the back at initiation, and then the skis continue to bend at the back throughout the finish phase of the turn.
Groovy. So is it quickly bending at the back, slowly bending it back? This
It's
is where
quickly
you-
bending at the back at the top, going into initiation, the way I'm looking at it.
Okay, cool. So now body performance. What
Going
is
into-
making the skis bend in the back?
She's going into initiation, her ankles are open and her knees are fairly open and her weight is backwards behind the ski boots then.
Yeah, well, we know that she's bending the ski in the back because her weight is back. Now we gotta know why. So the
Because she's
ankles
sitting
are
back.
open. Are the
Yeah, the ankles
knees,
are,
they look like they're bent a little bit.
yeah.
And then the hip is proportionally bent to the knees.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
So ideally, we want them to look like this. She looks like this,
mm-hmm.
right? So she's got open ankles. Knees are slightly bent. And then the waist is slightly bent, right? Does that make sense? If we could get her to do
I think
this.
we're looking at a different skier.
This is, no, you had black with green, didn't you?
I'm looking at one with lime green.
I'm
What is
green.
everybody else looking at? Yeah,
This one?
No,
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 lime green.
you had the right one up there. That's the one we were looking at.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
well, I wasn't looking at that one.
Well, I mean, everything you described was correct, right? So
Okay, I
how
gotta
would
look
you
at that.
make- How would you make this better? How would you make it better, Marianne? How would you make the body performance make the ski performance better?
She needs to close her ankles.
Right,
Cool.
right.
Anything else need to change? Does she need to open her knees, unflex her hips, flex her hips more, anything like that?
She's pretty upright, but I think if she started with opening her ankles, and then we talked a lot about ski to ski pressure, and that because she uses such little angulation and mostly just inclination, that she has way too much weight on her inside ski.
Yeah,
But-
we'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get to that, but let's just really concentrate now and silo out the fore aft piece before we get too deep into the, well, actually, you spoke to two fundamentals, but we'll just focus on the one right now. So, yes, I agree. If we flex the ankles more, this is probably gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And she's gonna be more over the base of support. And what's that gonna make the skis do, Marianne?
Well, her weight's going to be over the center of her center of mass is going to be over the center of the skis, which is going to keep her from being back because her ankles are flexed.
Right? What's that gonna make the skis do? Where is the skis gonna bend from there?
Oh, I'm sorry, the center, underneath her boots.
Under, maybe somewhere else?
Under and maybe a little bit forward.
There
yes.
we go. Especially at
sorry.
the initiation. She moves this way.
Yes.
At the initiation, that's gonna allow the ski to bend at the front. Then she can move a little bit slightly back, and I'm talking about this far. Maybe
Mhm.
she'll bend in the middle, and then just a little bit further will allow it to bend at the back to hold so that the skis don't spin out,
Mhm.
right? That's the ideal. Cool. All right. Laura, do you want to speak to ski?
I felt like we had a ski to ski master in our group, and it wasn't me. But he was saying that you could tell because the uphill ski diverges at the tip from the downhill ski that we have more pressure on the inside ski instead of directing pressure to the outside ski.
All
And
right, cool.
I feel like I can tell that also because I see very little flexion and extension in her knees. It seems like her knees are almost sort of doing the same thing at the same time.
Let's distill this down a little bit. I think you're technically accurate. I could go with that. But let's distill it down anyway. So you speak to the inside ski slightly diverging to the as opposed to the outside ski, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean it's bending more?
Yes, I think it's bending more. It's turning uphill more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's engaged more, right? Because it's got more pressure on it.
Yes.
Cool. And then you spoke to how the knees don't really change in relationship to each other.
Yes.
Could we travel that up the chain a little bit or add a little bit more joints? Because I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think we got two other joints we could speak to too.
Well, we talked about how her ankles are really open. She's not.
Yeah, that's fore aft.
Yeah,
Yes.
so she's not flexing them.
Right.
Her I mean, she's definitely not getting upper body, lower body separation.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay, then
Let's-
what ankles, what joints are we talking about?
So for ski to ski pressure, we like to talk about long leg, short leg.
Right,
Right.
And I think you said that in a way, you said that one leg is not significantly shorter than the other.
right,
So when she does, and this is banking, that's banking right there, right?
Mhm.
Right, that's banking. This is banking. In spite of the fact she doesn't have any angles, she hasn't built any angles, and she has no separation, and she has no lateral separation or rotational separation that allows her to put more pressure on the outside leg. The big thing is the inside leg is not shorter significantly than the outside leg.
right.
And that's really what we want to see.
Okay,
Cool? So right
Yes.
now, yeah, I mean, she's basically like a metronome.
yes,
And because she doesn't shorten the inside leg, it doesn't allow the center of mass to move to the inside of the turn.
you use the term banking, what does that mean?
Banking means it's a lateral movement of the skis out from underneath the center of mass.
Okay,
Basically, what it means is if you're a 2x4 and you tipped it like this, what edge of the 2x4 would be on the snow?
Inside.
So the 2x4 and you tipped it like this, what edge would be
the
on
inside,
the inside edge? They call that banking. And
okay.
that's a legitimate term that describes ski to ski pressure.
But does banking go with edging or does inclination go with edging?
Banking is about edging. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Banking is about ski to ski pressure. Inclination is about edging.
Okay,
Now, she is achieving edge angles by inclining, but she's also standing on the inside leg because she's essentially banking. So
okay.
in this case, it's the same thing.
And
So how do you
repeat the definition.
differentiate? How
Could
do
you
you
repeat the
differentiate?
definition for banking one more time? Banking is lateral movement.
Of the legs that moves us, it doesn't move the center of mass to the inside. It moves the legs out from underneath the center of mass.
And
Okay.
how do you define inclination versus banking?
So inclination is an edging term, which means the body tips to the inside, which allows the ski edge to tip.
Even though she's banking, you can see she's edging.
No, she is edging.
That's what I'm saying.
Because she's not only is she banking, but she's inclining, right? So
is banking like the whole body is inclining?
yeah, both of them are the exact same thing, but we refer to banking for ski to ski pressure, and inclination is actually in the definition of edging. So she is achieving edge angles by inclining. She's letting the body tip in, or you could really say the skis are tipping out.
So banking is inclination without angulation.
It is banking is yeah, that kind of in a way.
Yep.
Right?
But you use the term banking to refer to ski pressure, whereas you're using inclination to determine edging.
Yes.
But basically, they're the same thing.
They're essentially the same thing.
But you hit the nail on the head. It's just when you're talking within a specific fundamental, they want you to use one term versus the other fundamental to use the other term.
Because, they get paid by the word.
PSIA.
They get paid by the syllable.
Yeah.
Banking. There you go. That's like 2 syllables. They get 25 cents a piece.
Nuances of definition here.
Yeah. And you can look these up in the technical manual because they're there. All right. So she's a banking in. So if we were going to make her better, what would we like to see in terms of ski to ski pressure?
inclination and angulation.
That's edging. Let's stick to ski pressure.
What about a one long, outer long leg, inner short leg?
There we go. There we go. So flexing the inside leg would allow her to pressure the outside leg.
Right.
And I've probably said this a million times. How do we get pressure to the outside leg?
Take it off the
Like-
inside leg.
Take it off the
inside
inside
leg.
leg.
Right. So if we shorten the inside leg, it's going to take pressure off the inside leg.
Right, okay.
Will we get some angulation as a result? Maybe,
Yeah, maybe.
maybe, because everything's related.
Mhm.
And
Everything
instead of
is-
saying angulation, you say she's now aligned over the outside ski.
Yeah, exactly. Laterally, right?
Right.
If you want to do it in terms of the new common threads, individual flexion and extension movements of the legs allow the center of mass to move laterally.
Are they kind of just different ways of saying the same thing then?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. But there's the official PSIA paid for line.
But if she shortens the inside leg enough, she'll just fall over into the hill. She has to angulate to get.
If she shortened the inside leg now, she probably would not fall, but she would be more aligned over the outside leg. And the ski performance would change because the outside leg would start to hook up, right? Instead of this, where the inside leg has got more pressure on it, which means it's now bending more, which means it's now taking a different path than the outside leg. If she shortened the inside leg, there would be more bending of the outside leg, and it would be the one doing the steering. Motion. Yes?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's creating more force, centrifugal force, or centripetal force, yeah.
All right, room 2. Oh, it's just Kimberly.
Oh, no.
Everybody bolted on you on that one, right? I gave them the hard one.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this was,
I'm still here, but let Kimberly talk.
please,
That's
oh,
all
good.
right. The L3s are pretty familiar with what this looks like. So which fundamentals did you pick?
Oh, my goodness. I need your help, Rebecca.
Okay, we talked about rotation and ski to ski.
All right, cool. Let's talk rotation real quick.
So rotation is the turning of the legs under a stable upper body.
Cool.
And what
That's the ideal. Yep.
that's the ideal. And what we felt here is that the upper body was not stable because the shoulders were actually uphill rather than downhill. And that kind of prevented him from rotating. And as a result, he ended up using the technology of the ski to kind of guide the skis rather than using leg rotation to achieve the finishing of the turn. So there was a long traverse of riding the ski just to finish the turn.
So upper body, what's happening at initiation? Like right there. Let's go back to the initiation piece. What's happening here at the initiation?
So the upper body is still has not moved sufficiently to the inside of the new turn.
Sure. Is there an upper body twist that's happening?
Yes,
Cool. Where does a twist begin?
on the inside shoulder.
Okay, cool. And what's that cause the skis to do?
It essentially not transferring pressure to the new outside ski.
Well, we're talking about rotation, right?
Okay, well, I didn't pick
And
rotation. Kimberly, you talked about it.
I'm gonna throw you a lifeline because this is hard, right? There's a lot of things that are happening here. So the upper body's rotating. Which way is it rotating? Inward or outward?
Outward instead of inward.
Yeah, so he's kind of counter rotating, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There's the counter rotation. Watch the upper body move to the outside and the legs move to the inside. And then what happens at the shaping phase? Does anything change?
Not really. He just
No.
rides the outside ski.
Yeah, he's
What
kind of parking
Mary
the
Ann
riding.
said, he's using the outside ski as an outrigger.
Right, cool. Does it change in the finish?
No.
No. That's it. So he's using counter rotation to start the rotation. And then when he gets to the shaping phase, no rotation happens. Then when he gets to the finish, no more rotation happens. Right? He's basically riding on the performance of the ski to make the turn. How would you like, what would the ideal look like?
For the legs to rotate independently of the upper body.
Right, but you'd like to have a stable upper body, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so you would like to have the legs go like this, right? So we want to look more like this, right?
Yeah.
This first picture here, right? Where the body moves to the inside before the skis do, right? There's that rotational piece there. And then they can pull, right? They're like what I like to call pulling radius. They're using the inside leg to help them pull radius. This guy cannot. Oops, not that one. This guy cannot because he's stuck. All right. Kimberly, you want to try some other fundamental?
Not on this guy.
All right, that's fine. Fair enough. All right, Ben. Oh, what the hell? Everybody's leaving. All right, let's cut it short. Benji, do you want to talk to your skier real quick?
Did everyone leave? Like everyone left?
Scott just bailed.
I
Oh,
came
God.
back. My battery died. I was running on
I was about to
battery.
say, Scott said he had it.
That's how they get you, man. They just
I know.
abandon you. All right, go ahead. So we got this guy's better, right? He's not like the racers I see here at Winter Park every
Yeah.
day, right? Where they dump way in like this last guy did, right?
So, Chuck, I
Spread-
was gonna try and do a level 3 on it
yeah, go.
and try to keep it simple. So basically we got a skier on blue, black rune run doing long radius, and then some medium radius dynamic parallel turns. I'm gonna look at fore aft, and the fundamentals I'm gonna look at are fore aft and rotary. So basically what I see at from a fore aft perspective is the skis tend to bend mostly from middle to back through the whole turn, and he's most aft late in the shaping and into the finish.
Okay.
So what's causing this is he has his ankles are where he's flexing, his points aren't aren't quite in sync. His ankles are too open, his knees are overbent, and he's overflexed at the hips. So what that causes in the rotary area is that at initiation he's got some counter where his upper body is pointed more downhill than his skis, and as he moves into shaping, he actually gets too much counter. He's actually rotating his torso towards the outside of the turn while his skis are coming around, and this causes him to not be able to really control the shaping of the turn through a rotary mechanism, and he has to drop his hip inside. I know that's getting into a little bit of edging, but that's what's causing it. So more ideally, what I'd like to see is have his ankles more flexed, his knees less flexed, and his hips less flexed, so he's more centered on his skis. This will give him more ability to rotate his skis in a manner that's more effective, so that he can then when he's doing his turns at initiation, he'll have some slight counter, and as he goes into shaping and finish, he won't have the over counter position. His skis will be more, or excuse me, his torso will be more aligned with his turn and allow him to be in a more balanced position through the finish.
So what's that going to make him do better?
Well, it's going to, I didn't actually say it initially, but one of the things that I see in his turns is the start of the turn seems to be quicker and shorter than the bottom of the turn, which is longer. And when he's better aligned over his skis from a fore-aft perspective, it's going to let him use his rotary more effective, so he can have a better shaped turn, so that the top of the turn is shaped similar to the bottom of the turn, and it's more
Okay.
C-shaped.
How is fore-aft going to allow him to use rotation better?
Well, because he's aft, he's using his muscles to hold himself up, and it tends to lock his joints, so he's less able to rotate that. If he's more centered on his skis, he won't have that restriction, and it makes him easier to turn his feet and legs under a stable upper body.
Okay, I'll buy that. Again, what's that going to allow him to do? How is all that going to make him a better skier?
I thought I just said that.
Well, kinda. What's going to be different? How is
Well,
this performance going to change?
Do I talk about his center of mass?
Right. You can.
Well, I'm thinking because he can do that as center of mass in relation to the inside and outside of the turn, it's going to be better aligned where it's moving inside the turn the correct amount, instead of with his what he's currently doing is his hips are too far inside, and it puts him in kind of a park and ride position at the end. So if his center of mass is properly positioned on the center of the skis and towards the inside of the turn, he's going to have more control.
Okay.
So Chuck, tell me the answer you're looking for.
I'm looking for more versatile and adaptable is what I'm really looking for.
Oh, it's going to make him more versatile
and adaptable, right?
and adaptable. Oh, okay.
Shape. That's what I'm really looking for. You're
Gotcha.
kind of nibbling around the edges, right? I was going to throw you a life preserver anyway.
Okay.
I think essentially you're right. I don't think he's ever really forward. He doesn't move along the length of the ski well, which robs him of the ability to rotate. And as a result, because he doesn't rotate very well, he has to move to the inside with his, has to move his inside with the center of mass while rotating to the outside. It puts you in a strong position, right? We all know that.
Right.
We all feel that. It's a very cool position. I felt it today when I was like, oh, don't do that. But be able to change the size of the turn he wants to make. Can he do that now?
No.
No. Well, he
I
can.
like what you said about it's so simple moving along the length of the ski, because that I should have used those words as well.
Yeah, you need to move along the length of the ski. You got to
Yeah.
get that tip engaged. Doesn't really do that, right? He doesn't do it there. He certainly doesn't do it there. And then after that, it's like, well, I'm just going to ride tail to tail.
Right.
I mean, even in a transition, if we had like a binocular there and we could really look, I guarantee you those tips are not engaged. Right. But he's just really adept. Unfortunately, I see a lot of me in him, really adept at riding that tail and bending the tail. But the problem is, if he had to go from medium radius to short radius back to medium radius, how successful would he be?
No, he's gonna struggle.
Well, he did it down here, right?
He moved from long to medium.
Short, but look how the body moves with it, right? It's
Yeah.
ramp, right? He's just dumping. And we're going back to Jonathan here with the uber accurate, right? You just know at any minute now, he could whip in 2 or 3 short turns because he's in a position that allows him to do that. And this guy doesn't, right? He's stuck. That's a stuck position.
Yeah, Scott, do you remember when we used to train, and I tell you how I failed my level 3 ski?
Oh, I know, your inside hip dump. I got a picture of what you used to do in my head.
That's how I used to ski.
And we have video all over the internet with him doing that.
Yeah.
But don't worry, he wasn't the only one because
No.
I did it. And
Kellen, big hip dumper.
Oh, Kellen was terrible 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
And not Scott. The hell's his name? Freaking Adam. Adam was terrible at it too.
Oh, yeah.
And we got video all over the internet of him doing it. I honestly think it's a rite of passage, right? You've now learned separation. You're just doing it wrong. Right? Separation's hard. All right, cool. We're only at 9:11. I'm getting better, I swear. Any questions now that it's only 5 or 6 of us?
No.
No?
No.
Cool. Questions, Scott?
No, we can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got a ways to go.
Yeah, actually, you were pretty good. It's just that, I just have those itches in the back of my mind, especially after listening to Jim last night about that. What's this going to look like? What's the outcome going to be?
Right.
And I really think you should be looking for that. What's the outcome going to look like? How is a change going to be viewed? Or if you noticed a change, if he suddenly started doing what you were suggesting, what would that change look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Get out of my sight before I lose my temper.
Thanks,
Chuck.
Gabby.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.